All right, what's up, gang? How we doing? We are out of the organ systems. It was a journey, but we're done with it. We didn't get to cover things like the immune system or the endocrine system or the integumentary system. But I mean, look at this, man. We started with bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks ago. We entered organ systems, and we've been there that whole time. We're going back to cells, baby. And this is really kind of my bread and butter, so ain't gonna lie, I'm excited about it. And we're just gonna start off with some banging ass videos. We're talking about cellular reproduction, which is how cells make babies. And I studied this process for my PhD. So, yeah, it's nice to kind of be back here talking about cells. And these are some cells that are going through cellular division, going through cellular reproduction, specifically mitosis, and we'll talk about what that is. So we got DNA in red there, and the part of the cytoskeleton, the microtubules, in green. And you can see how the microtubules pull that DNA apart, and then the cell divides, pinches itself in twain. This is happening live in a frog embryo out on the epithelial surface or the outside of it. And we're going to talk through what exactly is happening here in this magical little process. You see these other cells here are in interphase, or the growth phase. They're not dividing. The DNA is all in the nucleus. We got all the microtubules coming out of this kind of microtubule organization center. Oh my God, I'm geeking out. I'm straight up geeking out on this. All right, here we go. Another video. Guess what? We added another cell in here dividing. Look at this. Look how beautiful these are. They start off in metaphase. They go to anaphase. They animate into anaphase. Then they're into cytokinesis and telophase. I mean, just look at this. I remember learning what I'm going to teach you about this in college, and then I got to like see it under a microscope for the first time. These videos are about like 20 minutes long, maybe 30 minutes long. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, this stuff that I'm going to teach you today, this is actually how it works. And this is how our DNA is copied and split apart between two cells equally so that they make exact copies of themselves. Right? All right. And then here, next week, we're going to talk about cancer. And we got a cell here that failed cell division once. So you can see it's got this big mass of DNA, and it's got actually now 2 of these spindles forming, or like 4 of these half spindles. So this cell failed to divide, so it's got quadruple DNA. It's tetraploid right now instead of diploid. We'll talk about those terms again. But you can see that even though the cell has failed to divide once, it's still trying its hardest to divide again. But a failed cell division, chromosomes not getting where they should be, DNA not getting where they should be, all of this stuff can tie into cancer. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of like locked in looking at this. It's beautiful. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you on those videos. Super cool. So what are we gonna? Let's give just a little overview of what we're gonna talk about today. So every single one of us started off as a single cell. We were one single cell. We all, sorry, I gotta get situated here. We all started off as a single cell. And now we are 37 trillion human cells. How does that happen? How does that occur? I want to make all this smaller. Make all this small. Oh, no, thank you. Look, Don't do me like that. We'll go like this. There we go. This will be better. Okay, we all started off as a single cell. And now we are 37 trillion human cells. How does this occur? Well, we all started off as this one tiny little cell. And that one single cell was an embryo. Embryo, or a zygote. Okay? And where did this come from? Where did this embryo or zygote come from? Well, let's go back here to this. All the way up here, right? We had a egg, or an oocyte, and a sperm. They fused together. They were each haploid, and then now they're diploid, and they made that zygote, right? There's that embryo. And that was us. That was us, man. Isn't that that's freaking still blow, like that was us. That was all the kind of necessary components were there to make you. Still blows my mind. Okay, before that, before we had this zygote, redraw this, and we'll draw with like a, I don't know, like a gray nucleus or something. Draw with a gray nucleus, because it's not a zygote. We had this, which was an egg, right, or an oocyte, and we had a little spermy boy. And these came together to make the embryo. Oh, he's so cute. I amaze myself. Okay, so these guys fused together to make this. Okay, and this is obviously a sperm. A little spermy boy. All right, and then, okay, well, we got one cell. All right, we got this. This was us. Come on, you can do it. My computer is being sluggish. Okay. And then something happened. Something really weird happened. Oh, that's a terrible hand. Something happened to that single cell, and all of a sudden it became a human. 37 trillion cells. This then became a human, which is 37 trillion cells. Human cells. And if you don't know what that is, let's put the numbers on it. 37. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 1,000, million, billion. Nope, we need more. 1,000, million, billion, trillion. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. $37 trillion. What? Okay. Well, in order to get there, this cell had to divide a lot. Lots of division. Right? Reproduction. This process here is called mitosis. Because it makes our toes. We want exact copies of the cell genetically. They have the exact amount of DNA. Okay, that's mitosis. You are making your body cells. Lots of cell division, exact copies. Boom, we go from one cell to 37 trillion. Okay, how do we get this process? Over here is the result of something called meiosis. Meiosis results in the production of sperm and egg in mommy and in daddy. Okay, and this halves the genetic material. Right, cuts it in half so that when it comes together, boom, now it's whole. So these again are haploid, and this is diploid. So the only place where meiosis is occurring on a human being is in this little zone right here. This is where meiosis occurs. Meiosis occurs. Why did I spell meiosis? Meiosis occurs here in our sexual organs, right? Everywhere else, it's mitosis. Okay, everywhere else, it's mitosis. In our junk is where meiosis occurs. Okay. All right. So when there's problems with this stuff, with the cellular division, this can result in things. We're going to talk about this next week, but when there are problems with cellular reproduction, this results in cancer. Okay, this is just kind of like why should you care about any of this? This results in cancer. Like we're kind of talking about how this works, how cells do this. Reproduction. And we're going to go over cancer all week next week. We're going to talk about cancer, and we're also going to talk about, we're going to go into details about this right here. Another term for this is a stem cell. So this cell, if you notice this, it's pretty nifty. This cell is a very specific stem cell called a omnipotent, meaning all-powerful stem cell. This cell can become every cell type in your body, right? It could become your brain, your skin, all that stuff. And we're going to go into details of all that next week. Stem cells and cancer are very closely, and cancerous cells are very closely related because they have problems or modifications or answers to different parts of the cell cycle. A cancer cell, I'm going to talk about the cell cycle in the next one, but they're rapidly dividing cells. I don't want to get too much into cancer because we are going to talk about that in the next one. Okay, I think we're going to end this there. So we're going to talk about mitosis, meiosis, cell cycle, and also the genetic material and the process of like what's happening to the DNA in all of this. Okay, we'll end right there. Or shall we begin here? The universe will never know. Later.